Real Estate Salesperson Paper 2, Additional Buyer Stamp Duty. Part 2, Additional Buyer Stamp Duty payable on approved use. For example, buying a detached or a pair of semi-detached house, which is currently approved to be used as a childcare center for 2 years. Additional buyer stamp duty will apply as the use of the childcare center is temporary, and the approved use of the property is residential. Areas zoned residential with first-story commercial, additional buyer stamp duty is liable on the residential property component. For instance, owning a 3-story shophouse held under one title is counted as 2 units owned, because the 2 residential units are physically separate units. With effect from April 27, 2023, 65% additional buyer stamp duty is incurred for residential properties transferred into a living trust, also known as an inter vivos trust. A living trust is created by a person called a settlor during his lifetime when he is still alive, a document where a designated person known as a trustee is responsible for managing that person's assets for the benefit of the beneficiary. Do note that a living trust can be revoked anytime. Case Study 1. Buying residential property in trust for minor child. Assuming this is the child's first property and the child is the sole beneficial owner of the trust property. Firstly, pay additional buyer stamp duty trust of 65% within 14 days of the exercise date of OTP. Next, application is made 6 months after date of execution of the instrument. IRS processing time is 2 months. If approved, IRS will pay back 65% within 1 month. It is important to know that an identifiable beneficial owner can be a minor, but the beneficial interest must be vested before the property is transferred to the trust. For instance, a trust must be irrevocable. It cannot be varied. It cannot have various conditions like the child must be of certain age, or if the child graduates from university, or if daughter don't marry a particular person, etc. Case Study 2. Buying residential property on trust for wife who is Singapore citizen and currently owns one other residential property, assuming that the settlor or trustee has already executed declaration of trust to state that he is holding on the property for his wife. The remission process is the same. However, in this case, since it is the second property owned by the wife, the additional buyer stamp duty refundable is 65% minus 20%, which is 45%. The 20% is charged as Singaporean citizens are liable to pay 20% additional buyer stamp duty on their second property count. This is a summary of additional buyer stamp duty, Part 2. In summary, you will need to know that additional buyer stamp duty is payable on the approved use or based on the zoning as well as in the shophouse context. Understand how to be eligible for ABSD Trust Remission and apply to case studies. Like, subscribe, share this video. Watch more real estate videos on my channel.